Carrie with Canary Quilts, and I wanted to introduce you to something that my mom introduced me to this year. She brought down this Kim Schaefer's calendar quilts, and it's a quilt. It's called 12 Months of Fun Fusible Projects. And it's a quilt for each month, a little wall hanging like this one back here that I just did. And I wanted to share it with you and let you know that I'm going to be doing this, and it's just going to be for fun. I don't do a lot of applique, and I like doing applique. I feel like it's like a coloring book to me when I was a kid, you know. You get this outline and then you get to fill it with your own colors. So that's why I like doing applique, and everybody's will look different. I used my holiday scraps, and I tell you why in my video, how I come up with my fabric choices and my applique choices and how I lay out my fusible webbing. So I thought, why not share this with you? You may like to do it. You may want to follow me and do it and see how they turn out each month. And if you do it, send me pictures. Go to my Facebook page and leave pictures in the comment, or email me pictures, or my website, whatever you want to do. I'd love to see if you're doing these and what they look like, because everybody's is going to look different. So I'm just this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than the rest of the months, just to kind of show you how I'm going to be doing these each month, how I lay out my fusible, how I pick my fabrics, and then in the next few months it's just going to be for fun. I'll show you my fabrics I pick and what kind of applique techniques I may want to do that month. I did a couple on this one, and I tell you why I do it that way. And how I quilt it also, because everybody will be different on how they do that. So I have the link to this pattern down below if you are interested in doing this. This is what it looks like each month. And honestly, I may redo September's. I may do my own little applique drawing for that one. Just because my kids are grown, and I think of September more as fall than school, I guess now. So there you go. Just wanted to introduce you to this. I thought it looked fun. I thought you may think it looked fun, and you can do it with me. So let's get started on our January snowman. Okay, to get started on our little snowman quilt, which is January, in the Kim Schaefer calendar of quilts. Get it from underneath my cat. This is what we're working on, and we're working on January's first, and January's actually on the front cover here. So that's what we're doing. You can see from here, I can't even fit it all in the screen. You can see how big this quilt is going to be. So you can see it's not too small. It's not large either. It'll be a nice wall hanging. And they come double-sided, so this is February on the back. But anyway, I want to show you where I'm at in getting started to do this quilt. So I've got this out. I've picked my fabric, so you need these background squares, which are red, and then you need the black background squares. So you're going to build the background out of black and red. And I had some holiday fabric fat quarters left over, so I cut those up into the squares. And yes, I know this isn't Christmas, but these will work. They're just background. You're not really going to look at them or see them per se. So let's see, I had 5. So I cut them out. This is going to be my background behind my snowman. So I've got those cut, and then the black ones are the same, from the same fat quarter bundles, and I'll link those fat quarter bundles down below if you like what you see, because that's where I got them. So this, I guess I didn't have these sorted very well, but these are going to be my black backgrounds. From the holiday fat quarter club that I was in. So there we go. That's what the black's going to look like, and that's going to be around the outside here. And you can see it's going to be covered with squares and snowflakes also. So that's where I started on that. So for my colors, let's go through what I got here. I don't know where I got this white fabric. It's Beautiful Day by Corey Yoder. So that's what this is. Again, I'm not sure where I got it. I must have gotten it for another quilt. It's really pretty. Glad I have it because I don't have much white. But that is going to be my snowman face my snowman body, and my snowflakes. So that's what I picked for those. And that's templates. This is, the head is 1, or no, the head is 2, the body is 1, and the snowflakes are 13. So I put those numbers right here so I know which templates go on this. Number 3 is the hat. And I'm going to use this. And I will make sure that these background fabrics don't end up here. 4 is the band on the hat. And I'm just going to use this green fabric I had from a Christmas quilt. So this is going to be several, 5, 6, 8, 11, and 12. So these 2 eyes are 5 and 6. 8 is the mouth. 11 and 12 are the buttons down here. So there's not too much to this. I mean, it will fit, but that doesn't take a lot of fabric. It just takes a wide piece of fabric. So that's what I'm using these for, this fabric for. 7 is obvious. It's going to be the carrot nose. And then 9, I chose this again from a holiday fat quarter club, and I'm going to use this for his scarf. So the squares are all appliqued on, and I think at that point, towards the end, what I'll do is just go through my batik stash and just start grabbing some small pieces and using those to put around on here. So for my fusible web, I'm using Light Steam Seam 2, and I bought this huge box quite a few years ago, and it's lasted me forever. It was well worth the investment. I still have that much left. I keep my scraps in here for little pieces. So I pulled out enough to cover some of these large pieces. Like here's the body, here's the head to the snowman. And then I just started surrounding it with pieces that would fit. Like here's the mouth, here's the scarf. These are the squares that are going to go around the outside. This has the eyes and the buttons, the nose, the hat band, part of the hat, and then all these squares again that go around the outside. And then over here is the hat, some more squares, and all the snowflakes that are going to go around the outside. So I will have this much left over as scrap for for February. So that's how I've laid out. I've tried to maximize my space on here as much as I could, so I don't have a lot of waste. But that's where I got all my pieces laid out. So what I need to do next is get my pieces cut and get them put on fused onto my fabric. So then I can start building my applique. And even though this isn't large enough, it will be big enough to, this is a pressing sheet, and I can put my applique pieces on here and start building. It'll be big enough to do like the head and the body. And then I can add the hat over top of that. So that's what I'm going to use to build the head and body and put all those pieces on. And then I can just transfer the entire thing over. So let me get started getting all these cut out, transferred over, and get the background put together, and we can see what it looks like and go from there. All right, I got all my pieces cut out and ready to go. I've got them all set here. I did batiks. I just pulled out a bunch of different color batiks and cut those out for my squares around the edges. But what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start putting the parts and pieces of our snowman together. So I'm going to start with the hat. And since I have this pressing sheet, I can pull the back of my fusible webbing off. And it's still, you can see it has the glue on the back of it. And then I can just lay it down just like that, and it sticks. And then I cut it so that my hat came all the way down, so I'm going to be putting this green on top of my hat like that. And then I'm going to put this part of the hat just right over the top edge of that. Just like that. So really all I need to do now is fuse this part right here so the fabrics fuse together. So we'll just do a 1, 2, 3. So the fabrics are fused together. So I'm going to set my hat up here and see what else I can put together. So there's my hat section. Let's take the body section, and this is going to get just the 2 buttons. So, need to take our 2 buttons and we'll put them towards the bottom, like that. And like that. So that's all that goes on there. So we'll give that a quick 1, 2, 3 press. So now I'm going to work on the face. Got a lot of strings on here. Oops. Okay. So let's kind of see how this fits here. It's a goofy smile. Kind of goes like that. His nose. It's gonna go like that. And then we've just got the 2 little eyeballs. So let's get his 2 eyes on. It's 2 tiny little eyes. Why are they so tiny? How's that look? Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Okay. Let's put his nose on. Yeah, I like his nose going like that. And now we can put his smile on. And this is going to be fun. So, which way does this go? It goes this way. Okay, that'll work. That will work. So, that's all we need for the face. So we'll give it a quick 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Quick press. So, this, I think I'll wait to put this on so I can determine where to hang it from. So that's all we need to do on our pressing sheet. So let me get my background made and we can start putting all these pieces onto our background. All right, there's my background. You can see most of it. And you can see how I put it together. And this is my top because I didn't want any of, what fabric? This fabric right here, because that's in my hat. I didn't want this fabric up here. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, but this is how my background turned out. And we are ready to stick our pieces on. And then after that, we can applique them down. So let's start with our body. So this is the bottom of my quilt. And I'm just going to line up my body pretty much on that seam. Right there. And this steam a seam light too is nice because that glue will stick. And so nothing's really going to scooch on me. I don't know. What do you think about that? That's cute. I think I'll lay it on there like that. So on the pattern it looks like this is underneath the head, but I'm going to put it over like that. And then we'll hang this like it's folded up underneath and coming out. There we go. Last thing we need is his hat. It's pretty busy, but it's cute. Okay, so now I need to put all my little batik squares on. There we go. I need to actually iron all this stuff down. Excuse me, Jingles. What are you doing? Oh, I don't need you to sit right on top of it. People don't need to see you. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come here. Oh. So, there we go. I'm going to get it ironed down, and then we'll talk about how I'm going to applique it. So I use my pressing sheet on top also. Just in case I have something on my iron, or I don't get glue on my iron if it comes out the sides, which it probably wouldn't or shouldn't, but just in case. I've had enough problems with sticky irons that I just don't want to have anymore. Alright, there it is. It's all ironed on, and my intention was to just do raw edge applique on the whole thing. But now that I see my fabrics together and it's a little busy, I will do satin stitch around, like I'm going to do it around the hat so the hat stands out. I may do it around the scarf, and I might do it around the snowman. But the rest of these, the snowflakes, the squares, inside here, I'm going to do raw edge applique. Okay, I'm over at my machine, and I'm going to use this white rayon Madeira thread for my satin stitch, and I've got a white thread in the bobbin. I've got some newspaper print paper that I use as stabilizer. I use it a lot for paper piecing, but when I applique, I just put it on the back to help stabilize and keep the, to try to help it from shrinking up my top. Some people say you don't need it, but I use it. And this is cheap paper, and it rips really easily. So I'm just going to set it behind my hat, since my hat is what I am going to be working on right now. So I'm going to set this to satin stitch, and we are gonna stitch away. So that's what the paper looks like on the back, and it rips off really easily. Kind of even just ripping itself off as I was going. And this is what the front looks like. Really makes that hat stand out. I like it because my fabrics behind it are so busy, so now the hat really stands out. So I'm going to do a satin stitch around my snowman, but it's not going to be that big. Or maybe, I don't even know that it'll be that tight because he already stands out. Okay, I finished my snowman right here with a smaller satin stitch, and it's spread out a little farther. So I now have a green sulky 40 weight rayon thread in, and I'm going to do this stitch I did around the snowman. I'm going to do it around my scarf here. There we go. That turned out really cute. So that's the end of my satin stitching. I am going to put in my quilting foot, and I am going to raw edge everything else on here. So let me get ready for that. Hey, I had to switch over to my Janome 1600 to do free motion quilting because I couldn't find my quilt foot for my other machine. So I am all set up. I have a black thread in. I'm going to do the black, all the black things right here, and then decide if I might do black on the darker squares. So let's get started. This is pretty easy. You just follow, I pretty much just follow the outline right inside where I want to sew. Let's do needle down. There we go. Go over to the other eye. And that's that easy. So now I'm just going to follow the outline of the mouth. Hard to see, but got the mouth stitched down. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, that is all the black. So what do I want to do? I think what I'll do is some of these darker squares, I'll just stitch around the edges in black, and the lighter squares, maybe I'll do a white or something. Okay, I've switched back to white, and I'm going to do the rest of my squares, the lighter color squares, in a white outline, and then I'm going to finish out my snowflakes in the white. That's what a snowflake looks like. So I think it looks pretty cool. I like raw edge, so... Oh, I got to do the nose. Now I'll come back and do that when I'm finished with the snowflakes. There we go. Just wanted to show off the applique stitching. Turned out nice. I like it. I like raw edge personally. But I did the satin stitch so that these types of things would stand out. And I like the different kind of stitching in it. It kind of gives it a little bit of rusticness to it, because he's kind of a rustic snowman. So next up is to put batting and backing on it, and then we'll come back and we'll do some free motion quilting. So hers shows that it looks like it's an all over design that was maybe done on a long arm. That's not what I'm going to do. I am going to just kind of outline everything here and make it pop up. Okay, I'm set up here over at my machine to do the quilting, and I've got my white thread back in that I used around my snowman. And I am just going to follow the edges. I'm not going to go into the stitching. I'm going to go around the stitching and follow the edges of my snowman all the way around, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do for the outline of all the rest of these. So, but anyway, that's the first thing I'm going to do. So there's our January snowman. He turned out really cute. You got to see why I chose everything I did. You got to see the applique I chose. And I did a few types of applique stitching. I did satin. I did two types of, I did a wider satin for the snowman and a tighter satin for the hat. I did raw edge, so I really love raw edge. And then the quilting I did where I outlined everything, and it just, I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it really makes everything pop. It just makes it all pop off that background, and I love it. So that's how it turned out. Let me know how yours turned out. Send me pictures. Maybe we can have a quilt show at the end of the year where I show everybody, if you're doing this, I'll show everybody's quilts that submits pictures to me. That would be really fun. Because everybody's is going to look really different in what choices they, in what fabric choices they made. So there you go. Thank you so much for following me on this. It was a lot of fun, and I'll see you in the next video.